Oh, why hello.
Do you guys want to see a magic trick? If you go back a week, I'm going to turn this $1,000 worth of cards into over $2,000 worth of cards. Are you ready? It already happened because they all sold last night. Not a bad pickup for, what were you, a week and a half? Even my wife last night was like, I'm sorry, we made how much on Pokemon cards in a week? For all of you watching, whether you're in the mortgage business, property management business, or just following from afar and you're like, I can't believe he's wasting time on like cards and stuff like that. Hey, I worked all day and I made an extra $1,000 plus flipping cards that was kind of fun, and it was like micro moments of like peace and fun during the day, and it's making good money. So yeah, it was fun. On the docket today, Watts. Massive contract I've got to go through, make some revisions. Got a few exciting meetings, a couple opportunities I want to take a look at. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good day. Never a dull moment. But yeah, I right first before you go down that rabbit hole too far. I want to try and give you guys value as often as I can. And I was thinking, I was like, next time the camera came in, I was going to talk about like, oh, the contract and everything else. How many of you are writing contracts to work with other businesses and stuff like that over the long term and stuff like especially franchise contracts, everything else? Meh. But what do I actually do? What do I do to develop my network and my relationships and things like that? So something I've always been big on is birthdays. Do you ever get that weird like influx of love all of a sudden because social media told everyone it's your birthday? Like, don't be that person. So if you're trying to build a relationship or you're trying to always maintain relationships, here's a little trick that I do. I go into Facebook. I don't look at the ones that day. What I try to do is you can look up to a week in advance. And what I like to do is I like to be a few days early. That's how I'm constantly nurturing relationships as the rest of my day happens. I'm doing it nonstop. I bet you at any time I have 5 to 10 conversations going in the DM on Instagram, Facebook, all day long, and it's constant. Little things like that make you stand out. Half of you watching this are like, I don't know if I have a Facebook anymore, but go do it. It's an amazing tool. It doesn't have to be political rants and kittens. It can be a business tool. Give it a try. I am going to get something to eat because I'm starving. Instinctually, wanting to go to the restaurant downstairs, have bacon and eggs, which will run me like $20-something. Or I can go to A&W, they sell bacon and eggs as well, and it will cost me like $6. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, they put it on a plate. It's like literally bacon and eggs.
I want a food review.
Really? I don't know, this egg looks really questionable. But I did actually see them crack the eggs. Otherwise, I'd be like super nervous. It's egg. I don't think there could be bad bacon, because I don't think bad and bacon can be in the same sentence, but it was probably the least good bacon I've ever had.
Okay, so like last weekend.
Basically, we're all like, Mom! We're doing stupid stuff. Mom!
August 27th.
We definitely
Just went through a renewal negotiation. It went really good.
should. So what does that like mean?
So what that means is the mortgage business is really, really different, and it's why I think the franchise model in the mortgage industry is broken. So I'll give you an example. So if you buy a McDonald's franchise, you're never going to want to leave that franchise. You're buying it because you deem value there, and that's what you want to do forever. You want to own that business forever. Here's how it is in the mortgage business. So you would buy that McDonald's, but Burger King or Wendy's would constantly harass you and try to pay you money to turn your McDonald's into a Burger King. You would never do that because you're paying a large sum of money for said value. Well, in the mortgage business, we're completely the other way, where we cater to the office, beg, borrow, steal, and plead for people to join an organization because our revenue just is derived from a different source. So when it comes to these renewals, it's very different. It's interesting that you have to do renewals. In traditional franchise model, you're so happy it's a foregone conclusion that you're going to renew your contract, right? Because there is so much value in that brand. Not to say there isn't value in the mortgage brand, or Centum for that matter. I personally believe, a little biased, but I think there's more brand equity in Centum than there is in any other mortgage brand. But it's still not at a point to where a renewal is just second nature. Right? Every single time you've got to go back to the well and make sure that you're listening, you're understanding what their needs are for the future, and that you're adapting kind of thing. So the ultimate dream for Centum and mortgage franchising as a whole is, why are we not putting so much focus on value that it's that foregone conclusion that of course you want to be at Centum, of course you're going to renew. I want to get brokers to the point to where they're like where else would I go? It needs to be second nature like that. And the problem is none of the brands put an emphasis on value, and that's where we win, and that's why we're continuing to win, is we bleed value. That whole conversation was value. What do you need? What did you like about the last term? What do you need going forward? What are your goals? How can we support those, right? Value. With that, that's a wrap.
Oh, nailed it.